Hey, what's going on, party people? Sim Racing Noob here, and in this video we will be doing some races at Susuka circuit, Gran Turismo daily races week number 5 2026. We will be doing 10 laps on group 2 cars, medium tires, and of course I will be using the Lexus because, well, I need all the help that I can get. Well, party people, since we have a little bit of time before the first race, we're gonna go ahead and do a qualifying time trial following Teacher here, since I find his lap guides quite useful. And as I'm going here through the first consecutive set of corners, I realize that I am struggling quite a bit. This is the first time I'm doing this particular combo with this type of cars, and this lap and these tires. And in fact, there's some dynamic weather in this race, so we're gonna see how we do. First lap I do 155. That's really sad. I do another attempt and I do 154.468, and that's all the time I have before the first race gets started. That puts me in P6. That's not too bad. Well, here are people, we're about to begin lap number, never mind, just gonna cut that off, I suppose. Well, party people, here I am doing voiceover on this video. I'm gonna try to do it as fast as I can, so excuse any mistakes I have as we get ready here to get the first race started. Starting on P6, as I mentioned. Of course, I will be using my DOF Reality Rig H2 system, motion simulator with my haptic pedals and my butt kickers, so base shakers, however you wanna call it. Now, this race was filled with a ton of accidents, as you may expect, and you've probably seen already because it's already Thursday, and I filmed this on Monday. I don't have any time really to edit as much as I wanted, so it's been taking me quite a long time. And as I'm talking, we can see here that we're finding that some of these drivers are starting to have a bit of contact, and it's very easy to lose control and spin out of the track. As you can see the format, this is what I will be doing. I will be showing my race and jumping on board other people, like right now JWS, who decides to go for a quick spin right after deck note 2. Now, as we are getting ready to go through the hairpin, this is one particular part of the track where a lot of people spin out. This time around, I managed to keep the car straight. However, my exit was a bit compromised, and because of that, Joshi Poo finds a little bit of momentum to try and attack. However, I'm able to defend this position for now. Now, let's jump on board El Duke here, who goes quite deep into spoon, brakes a little bit too late, goes on top of the green stuff, which is very sleepy, then proceeds to go drifting on the grass. Let's take a look at this double camera view. We see ourselves on the left, passing or overtaking P5. And am I able to keep this position? Absolutely. Getting ready here to hit my braking marker. Getting on the brake nice and early, going through the chicane here, and able to maintain the position. I didn't spin out, didn't have any issues, and so for now we're gonna continue to keep P5. Now, as we cross the line to lap number 2, we take a look at our weather map. Everything looks good so far. And adjust our brake balance here, getting ready to go through turn 1, holding our position, defending from P6, and just focusing on nailing my turns as best I can. Now let's fast forward just a little bit after Degna 2, getting ready to go through the hairpin here, following these two drivers who start to have quite a bit of an issue here, having contact and pushing me against the wall. However, let's take another look here at this incident as P3 nearly parks his car in the corner, and because of this, Zoe ends up going into the back of him. They both end up ping-ponging all over the track. And as of B4A, who is now on PA, attempts to recover, he goes for an extra spin. Now, jumping back on board myself, still holding P5, now following Hippo. Here going through these corners, getting ready, really focusing on hitting my braking mark before the chicane, since this is one of those places where people usually misjudge and they go too deep and go against the barrier. Going now down the main straight, crossing the line to lap number 3. Still holding P5, right behind Hippo, getting quite close to him. And now I'm thinking I might be able to take his position sometime soon. All I gotta do is just make sure I don't lose my car in this SS. Now let's take a look at this DOF motion platform. This is from the company DOF Reality. I have had this for a couple years, and I got this because it was the most budget friendly that I could find at that time. I really gotta be careful with this Degna corners. I think I'm going over the curve a little bit too much and settling the car quite a bit. Now let's take a look at this through the hairpin. Hippo sliding all over the place, but didn't lose too much time, and he's able to keep the P4 for now at least. Let's see what happens when we go through Spoon. And here, entering the corner, he's definitely doing okay. Just chasing him. He's sliding all over the place, and finally he goes a little bit too wide there. Probably because he was sliding and I gave up the position. I was able to position my car in a way where I could take advantage of that mistake. Are we gonna be able to keep this position? It definitely looks like that. Now the Casio Triangle is one of those places where I was nailing the braking on this race, but as you will see in the following races, I was having quite a bit of trouble through there. Now, obviously, I was able to keep P4 right now, and as we go through the line, enjoying the beautiful P4, lap 4, P4. That's the way it's meant to be. Now let's jump on board P1 right here, Canish 771. As he goes through Degna 2, goes a little bit too deep, goes onto the green stuff, hits the throttle, and goes for a quick spin. We all know that green stuff is super slippery. You want to avoid stepping on the throttle through there. As we can see, we're just past him right now, which puts us now in P3. P3, baby, let's go. Now, so far, so good here. Keeping the car straight through the hairpin. Now let's take a look at P6 now, who was P1 earlier. But the incident on the green stuff, he goes into the green stuff again and absolutely goes for a massive spin here. The lesson here, kids, is black tarmac good, green stuff bad. Now jumping on board Can-Am 1, slows down a little bit too much, Big Purple collides with his rear, sends him off to Narnia. Let's jump back on board myself. As we go through the pit lane, we get another position temporarily. I will definitely return it shortly as I pit, but for now, we're gonna enjoy P2. Now, we are going to be fast forwarding through the laps whenever there is nothing going on, whenever it's just boring, it's just me, myself, like this right now. However, if we jump back on JWS at the hairpin, a little bit too much throttle, goes for a quick little spin. And yeah, this is a little bit too common through the hairpin. Now we are going to jump back on board myself, going through the line to lap 6. Not much going on at the moment, still holding P2, but I still have to pit, so I will be returning some of those positions. Now let's take a look at our friend Canish. Poor guy, he's been so unlucky. A little bit too much throttle on exit, spins around, unsettles the car, and just decides to quit. Decides that's it for him. This is not his race, and well, he's just going to say bye-bye.
Might be rain, heavy rain at the end of the race. One more laps.
Maybe some light rain. I was trying to guess whether it was gonna rain and whether I was gonna need to switch my tires to rain tires, but it looks like it might not. The rain might not get here at all. So I think I'm just gonna come in the pit lane on this lap, and especially since I go deep here on the Casio Triangle, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this opportunity and pit and switch my tires to medium tires again.
Stick with mediums.
Now I'll take a moment here while I'm pitting to ask if any of you guys like this video. Please subscribe. I'm trying to learn how to do this quicker and better. So any support I get, honestly, I'll be forever grateful. Now the remaining of this lap, there was not much going on, so we're just gonna go ahead and skip ahead to the end of this lap.
Everyone ahead of me has pitted already.
Now I'm realizing that these videos take a long time to make. First, you gotta do the races, and you gotta record the replays. You gotta bring it into your software, synchronize it, cut it, and do all kinds of editing. It's taking quite a bit of time. I don't know how other people do it so quickly. Now take a look at this. As we get to the chicane, we miss our braking marker, go too deep, and compromise our exit. Now Hippo gets revenge and gets his position back, pushing me back down to P4. Am I gonna be able to get the position back from him?
Went too late on the brakes.
The answer is probably not. Probably not. However, we're gonna chase him down. We're gonna try and get that position. Let's take a look at him from his perspective as I am chasing him down. Going too deep to turn one, and well, I do go off, but do not go down.
What the fuck am I doing?
Now, I'm afraid that guy is breaking away, and I think the option of getting that position, it's getting further and further away. Let's put it that way. Now we are gonna cross the line to the final lap, still chasing Hippo, and we are going to attempt to do our best to try to nail all the corners and all the turns and braking markers and all that stuff. As you can see, I am switching camera angles and camera views, so the video flows a little bit better. Hopefully feels that way. Take a look at this double camera view as we see from the perspective of Hippo as I'm chasing him down through this wide left-hander leading up to Spoon, but I'm hoping to get within reach. Now at this point, I tried everything I can to be able to catch up to P3, to Hippo, including pushing my rig to see if I can make my car go a little bit faster, which I think it didn't work. Going through the chicane, the rain starts to calm down. However, it's not going to be an issue because the race, it's coming to an end, and it's going to be a P4. I mean, it's not too bad. This was the first race of today, and well, I'm not gonna complain for that result. It could have been a lot worse. Look at that, 4th place, 2 positions race. Let's go, baby. Now I'm definitely gonna give it another go to the qualifying laps to see if I can better my time even just a little bit, which I do. 153.7. That's a little bit of an improvement, puts me up in P5 for the next race. Now, as we begin this second race of Daily Races Gran Turismo Sports, week number 5, 2026, Daily Race C as Suzuka Group 2 cars with medium tires and dynamic weather. Getting through the S's here, and we are already taking a position here by someone who was going a little bit too wide. We are going to take a look at what's going on back there on P12. Zoe having a bit of a moment here, racing with him again, but he decides to go drifting on the grass. Jumping back myself as we are going through this set of corners, coming into Degna 1, trying and keep control. Now let's take a look at this as we go through Degna 1 and Degna 2. I go a little bit too wide, go into the green stuff, and keep turning left onto a straight part of the track. As a result, I end up just staying there, staring at the wall as I see all the other drivers who do not drive bad pass me by. Now let's take a look at P2 Sleazy. Going a little bit too deep, having a little bit of an impact with the other driver. Goes in too deep, goes into the gravel, and was able to recover, but lost a handful of positions. Now back on board myself here on P13. After my meeting with the barrier, I'm trying to catch up to everybody else. As we can see, P12, it's back there just having a conversation with the wall. But that gives us another position back as we head through the back straight, coming into Casio Triangle to see if we can find other people marry the wall here. Let's take a look at this 3-camera view as we are getting close to the group up in front. Somebody goes into the pit lane, putting us up in P11, right behind P10 right here. Tony Exor 3, the Brazilian, getting a lot. Instead of making a move, I decided to first bump draft him. I thought it would be a better idea so we can both get closer to the group up in front. However, now I'm thinking that he is going to slow me down through the S's. I think I might be a little bit faster than him, so the right move would have been to make a move and send the car on turn one and take that position. But here we are. I'm stuck behind him. However, I get a chance right here to go around the outside, take that position. Very nicely done. Thank you very much. Now we see a yellow flag. Let's see what happened here. P5 goes into the green stuff, and as we established earlier, green stuff is bad. Goes very hard into the barrier, but he is able to recover right before I take his position. He did lose a handful of positions, but I was not able to take advantage of this incident. Now, taking a look at the weather map, we can see some very strong rain, but it's coming in a little bit too late on the lap. I don't think on the race, I don't think it's going to affect us. Now, let's take a look here at another replay here. Another guy, another victim of the green stuff here after Degna 2. Red Beer 420 on P14. Goes for a quick little spin, tries to recover, and well, why not? Let's just have a second spin. One's not enough. One spin is not enough. He gets respawned by the Gran Turismo gods, and well, he goes. Now, let's take a look at P4 stunned driver X. Goes, cuts through the chicane and goes for a quick little spin as L on P7 goes into the back of Notorious, sending him straight to the wall, getting a well-deserved 4-second penalty. Now hopefully Al is looking inside his soul to try and see how he could become a better driver and stop killing other drivers out on the road in Gran Turismo. Now as he approaches turn 1, Karma shows its face, pushes him off the track, and sends him off to Narnia.
Oh, 4-second penalty? Wow. I wonder what happened.
R.I.P. Notorious. R.I.P. Now, let's take a look at this. What's going on? We're on the battle for P6. However, I get pushed off a little bit, lost control, and well, I went into the gravel. Almost spun out, but luckily I didn't. However, I did lose a position and I am pushed down to P10 now. Let's take a look. Stunt driver, as suspected, spins around.
What in the world? I think it's going in reverse.
Now here we are going through Spoon, holding P9 on lap number 3, getting ready to go through the back straight while we take a look at P7. Al, the guy who has to serve a 4-second penalty, he is going to give up a bunch of positions, including myself, take his position right there up to P8.
Why did I hit the brakes, bro? Dumbass.
Slowing down unnecessarily. Now let's take a look at this as we enjoy this other guy spinning around, and well, I do not know if I took that corner properly or not, but I'm going to assume that I did. Come into the pit on lap number 3 to begin lap number 4, since I thought there wasn't gonna be any rain, though the sky looks a little bit cloudy, so we're going to see if this was the right choice or if that was a mistake. Coming out of the pit lane on P13. However, somebody quit there, and that gives us a position straight out all the way to P12. Now, as we're going through the SS following Kid, he goes on to the gravel, gives us another position, putting us up in P11 now. Now, I thought that I was driving all by myself here, but I finally got a glimpse of another driver up in front, and it's actually our friend off B48. We go through the hairpin without troubles, and we are able to continue the race with no incidents at this point. Cutting forward through after the spoon, going through the back straight, again trying to push the car. Not really, I mean, I'm just adjusting my sitting position. That is what is going on. I'm not actually trying to push the car. That would be ridiculous. Now, as we coming down through the chicane, the Brazilian slows down a little bit too much. As a result, I end up going into the back of him twice. Turns out he was trying to go into the pit lane, but I don't know why he was trying to park the car there in the corners. I think he perhaps was trying to slow me down. Take a look at JWS again, goes into the gravel, goes for a quick little spin, and well, he gives up his positions. Back on board myself here, enjoying P10, enjoying also the fastest sector of the race at this point. Getting ready to hit Degna 1. And well, I did not hit Degna 1 because I cut that off and I fast forwarded through the next chicane since apparently there was nothing going on at the time. So we're gonna go ahead and fast forward through the line here. And as we drive through the pit lane, a couple drivers spitting, so we get a couple positions back up to P7 and starting lap number 6. We realize there's someone there coming out of the pit lane, but was able to come up in front of them. Now at this point, I'm honestly just trying to hurry and try to finish this video so I can upload it before the end of the week. And so I do apologize if I am just rambling on, and I don't remember exactly what happened in the races. I'm watching the replays. I'm trying to come up with the stuff that occurred during this time. However, I can see that I'm still struggling here through the S's. This is part of the track that I thought I had down, but then sometimes I get it right and sometimes I get it completely wrong. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. However, I am having the fastest lap at this time up to lap number 6. I wonder if that record is going to be broken by somebody else. As we jump on board Stunt Driver X on the hairpin, green stuff, spin around. Yep, as always, tries to go through this gap, trying to run over the race official. And well, he is stopped by the Gran Turismo God. That's a no-no, man. That's a no-no. You should get a penalty, right? Well, obviously that part of the track is blocked off, and so we avoided some tragedy right there. As we jump back on board myself, am I going to get the chicane properly done? And I think I did. I mean, it's not perfect, but at least I didn't take it too wide or crash against the barrier. That's a plus already. Now just began lap number 7, holding P7 as we speak, coming down the main straight onto the first corner and followed by the S's. We took a glimpse, we saw a glimpse there of somebody up at the front with a penalty. I just didn't really catch what was the penalty, probably half a second. And as we are driving through the S's, trying to nail them as best I can. However, I cannot quite figure out yet at the time how to take them properly. I'm just taking it as I go through Degna 1, trying to avoid the curve too much, and Degna 2 a little bit biting a bit too much, but no issues at all. Coming in here towards the hairpin, am I gonna see somebody else spin around? Not quite, not quite. Now we can see that the driver up in front, the second driver up in front, has a 3-second penalty. I wonder what happened there. I'm not gonna go back and take a look, but if I had to guess, I would say he cut the white line after the pit lane exit. Now the question that we have right now is if I'm gonna be able to take advantage of the guy serving his 3-second penalty to be able to take his position, but it looks like it wasn't quite enough. As we see that we nailed the sector, we got a purple sector again, and coming in through the chicane, making sure that I hit my brake marker slightly before the 100-meter mark. Getting very close to P6 here. Might be able to make a move sometime soon. Getting ready to go the main straight and getting ready to cross but lap number 8. Holding on to 7th place. I was able to set a fastest lap in this lap by 0.2 of a second. Now, what I am focusing entirely is on trying to make a move in P6 here. As I am following him, I'm trying to figure out if he is gonna make a mistake through here, if I can get close enough, or at least not losing him. But it looks like he is, it definitely seems like he's breaking away. But we're not gonna let that deter us as we are approaching Degna 1 and Degna 2. A lot of people make mistakes through here. As we see here, as Lander overtakes Notorious coming up through the hairpin. Oh man, that was not nice. Notorious, who was pushed against the wall earlier, he goes now into the back of Lander and yeah, just kills him dead right there. Here we are coming in through the back of Lander, enjoying this 2-view camera of the race as we are approaching this guy. Gonna try to go through around the outside, coming in. Now this is gonna be the inside, which means that I'm gonna be able to take that position at least for a few seconds, because I completely messed up the turn on the spoon, and well, I gave that position right back to Lander. Up to P7 again. Now as we come or cut through, fast forward through the lap, coming in through the line of lap number 9, same thing is happening, but now unfortunately somebody set the fastest lap. Now fast forward here a little bit again, holding P7, chasing Lander now. I'm hoping to be able to make a move, see if I can see what he might be making a mistake, but instead I'm the one who made that mistake right there. Now that is definitely costing me a lot of time, and the idea of getting another position back seems to be further and further away, as we now see Lander going wide after Degnan 1, but he's able to recover, and I'm stuck behind him trying to pull the move here, but I'm unable to do it, and I tuck back into his slipstream as we head down through the hairpin, where he goes a little bit wide, try to take advantage of this position, but he has very good exit, and he keeps ahead of me during this sector. And as we head down here, going on to the grass, coming in through Spoon, this is another chance that I may have to overtake Lander. However, he drives better than me through Spoon and keeps ahead of me, even though he's sliding a little bit skirmish, but he was able to keep that position. And as we're driving through the back straight, he is keeping ahead of me, even though I am behind the slipstream. I am catching up a little bit, but it's not gonna be enough, especially not for this lap. And as we are approaching the chicane here, we see that we're getting quite close to him, and as we go through the chicane, obviously Lander nails it and I stay behind.
That dude's bad luck.
Obviously I was a little bit frustrated because I thought I was gonna be able to overtake this guy, but that wasn't the case. Now we cross the line to P10, last lap of the race, and we take a look at the weather map.
Oh gosh.
Looks like there's not gonna be any rain. However, I am struggling trying to keep the car within the racing line, going off onto the grass, going off into the gravel, and because of that, well, the opportunity of getting P6, it's further and further away each time. Now let's take a look at this incident. Up on P3, our driver JWS goes into the green stuff and goes for a quick little spin. Because of this incident, I am now catching up to JWS. Lander's off on the distance, enjoying P5, and now I am prospecting the idea of getting P6 from JWS. As we go through the hairpin, we both get it okay, and we both have a decent exit, pretty much the same speed, and I'm going to just continue to chase down through this lone right-hander, leading up to Spoon, jumping on board P6. Take a look at his camera as we notice Lander up in front, sliding all over the place. As we getting ready to go down the back straight, let's jump back on board myself here, trying to enjoy the slipstream, see if I can catch up to these two drivers up in front. I need to get the closest I can as the chicane is coming, and this is where we're gonna see an opportunity. Us three, we are probably fighting for P5. As we go hard on the brakes, Lander goes a little bit too deep, goes off the track. I tap JWS, and as Lander regains the circuit, pushes off JWS off the track, sends him for a spin, and we end up fighting for P5 here. However, we see that a driver Notorious did impede, and he got started with a 1-minute penalty, which means we are going to take P5. Now let's take a look at this last incident as we notice Lander regaining the circuit, pushing off JWS. JWS goes for a 720-degree spin. However, he only lost one position, so it's not too bad. Brought it home on P5. This was a decent result, gaining me some driver rating. In preparation for the next race, I ran a quick lap and I was able to qualify in under just 52 seconds. Taking a look at the weather map, and there appears to be no weather at all. Starting on P3 for this race, good enough qualifying time to be ahead of a couple B drivers. Let's see if I can finish ahead of them. Now, there's going to be a lot happening in this race. I will do my best to make sense of it, but it might be hard to follow as I will be showing it in real time. 12 seconds into the race on turn 1, I bump back living up to his name, bumping Panda off the track. Springman on 16 shove stars, sending him all the way to the back. Now take a look at this on board P7. The slightest of side contact between these two sends Face for a massive spin. I bump back up ahead with an aggressive 5-second penalty, well deserved in my opinion, but now Shiki gets served with the 5-second penalty as well. Now on board Springman, not sure there wasn't any contact, but Lander goes off track and goes for a spin back there. Now as we go through Degna 2, I decided to join the fun, push act, then I get pushed by El Mero Mero and take the lead of the race. Now as we are approaching the hairpin, I was a bit concerned that somebody would send it and go to the back of me, but fortunately nobody did that, and we keep the lead so far. Now we have El Mero Mero at the back of us. Let's take a look at this side-by-side camera view. We can see that on the right, El Mero Mero's chasing us down, applying quite a bit of pressure. You can see that he's driving a little bit aggressive, a little bit of bumping here and there, veering left and right, and definitely trying to get past me. However, I'm going to defend this position for the time being as we go through the back straight, coming through, crossing the penalty line. Bunch of drivers in the back gonna pay for their penalties, and as we head down through the chicane, I'm able to defend their position, keeping P1 so far. As we are getting ready to go down the main straight to cross the line to lap number 2, enjoying P1, keeping a little bit of this distance between me and El Mero Mero. Let's take a look at this incident here down in P10. Nicolelli tries to avoid contact, goes into the wall, very well done. However, Panda here, victim of a bump back, who it's a very good bumper from what I can tell in this race. Goes into the back of Panda, pushes him off for a spin, and doesn't even apologize or anything. He just keeps going like nothing happened. Now let's take a look at Shiki as he having a little bit of contact. Nobody's fault in my opinion, but just each other pushing each other off the track. Now let's jump back on board, keeping the lead so far. But as we go through the Degnas, Degna 1 is okay, but Degna 2, we're gonna have a little bit of issues, and this will allow El Mero Mero to reach back behind us.
The pressure from behind.
Applying quite a lot of pressure here. Need to be very careful through the hairpin. Are we gonna be able to keep that position? I think this is going to be hard. Now, while I struggle to keep my position, let's take a look at this incident. As Lander goes for the kill here, murdering Deep Arrow, very dead. Now let's take a look right here up in the front, sliding a little bit and going for a spin here out of Degna 2. Now let's go back to the battle that I'm having here with El Mero Mero as we go through this long right-hander leading up to Spoon, where I think El Mero Mero has positioned his car to be able to overtake me. And he does just that, taking the lead for me at the moment. I'm hoping to get it back since he has a half-a-second penalty. But as I go through the exit of the second corner, I slide quite a bit, lost a bunch of time, and El Mero Mero, he's gone. He's just gone. So there you go, the lead. I think the lead is out of the question at the time. He's going to serve the penalty, but it's definitely not going to be quite enough. I do have to be honest here. I was a little bit frustrated that I lost the lead. However, El Mero Mero seemed to be a little bit faster than me, and he was going to take the lead sooner or later. So it was inevitable. As we start the run through the main straight, coming through the line to the next lap, lap number 3, we see that Shiki is having quite an issue here coming out of the chicane. And now goes for a quick spin, but fortunately for him, ends up facing the right way. Getting back to my situation here, keeping up with the leader, staying pretty close, getting ready to attack should the opportunity arise. Getting back to my situation here, keeping up with the leader, staying pretty close, getting ready to attack should the opportunity arise. We have a set of difficult corners coming up as we take a glimpse as a leader is sliding a little bit, allowing us to get closer, but
whoa, bro.
I had to go on and have a moment of my own there. However, I am still keeping up with the leader. So I think at this moment I'm actually thinking that there might be something I could do. Also, this is barely lap number 3, so there's still a whole race ahead of us. Taking a look at the weather map, looks like there's not going to be weather at all in this race, so we're just going to focus on pitting at the right time whenever it's necessary. And as we are chasing down this guy, we set our fastest sector so far, coming in here through the chicane. Hopefully I'm able to pull a move here, but it looks like this guy is driving flawlessly and he's just getting very little and little on my screen as the seconds go by. Now as we go through the main straight, we start our lap number 4. Now we are concentrated here, trying to hit our braking markers, trying to hit our turning points, but I am not doing as good as I'm hoping. I'm also trying to be very careful because these cars are very easy to spin them out and lose control. So I have to be very careful while at the same time I'm trying to be as fast as I can. Now I think consistency is the name of the game, so we're gonna go ahead and try that instead of pushing all the time. Now let's take a look here. P7 Lotuko, who goes a little bit wide on the entrance there in that corner and goes for a spin, as a lot of people have done through this sector. This is honestly becoming a little bit too common. Now let's take back a look on us here. It looks like green flag is glitched as we go through the hairpin here. We start to realize that El Mero Mero is leaving us behind. Now I am struggling just to keep up with him, so we are just absolutely going to try to nail this set of corners so I can stay at least close to him so he can take me with him, and that way I avoid risking P2. Now the question is not can I take P1, but the question is can I keep P2. So as I'm trying to push hard to keep up with El Mero Mero, my efforts are not working out and he is just breaking away, but let's not afraid on that since it's still barely lap number 4. We still gotta do our pit stops, and speaking of which, we are gonna bring in the car right now so I can switch out our tires and finish up, or rather get our pit stop out of the way. As we are pitting, let's take a look at the arrow who goes too deep into the Casio triangle. Both swerves out to avoid contact. Very well done, my friend. Very well done. Now, as we come out of the pits on P6, well, not P7, as we see Lander drive by very fast here. And I believe it's going to be a P7 so far on lap number 5. Going here through the S's, trying and remember how to do this series of corners. Trying to abuse the track as much as possible. We are there now, focuses on the chase for P6. Sliding a little bit, because why not? I mean, I do have a lot of time, extra time that I can just burn, right? As we come out of Degno 2, this was rather good, and the chase continues as we see Sparks all the way back there. Actually, it's not Sparks, it's Sprinkman. Sprinkman! Going through the hairpin. Are we gonna catch up to this driver? I'm starting to notice that I am very slow through the hairpin. Maybe this is an area where I need to work out, because this seems to be one of those areas where I'm losing a lot of time against the other drivers, and I think it's important to try and figure out where it is that we could get a little bit better and do a better job, right? Now as we go here through the back straight, are we in the slipstream of Lander? And it appears so, as we are catching up to him a little bit. We see another driver coming into the pit lane. Are we gonna be able to take that position as we go to the Casio triangle? P6 sliding a little bit, which allows us to get a little bit closer. However, Lander is gonna bring in the car and we're gonna get that position right back up to P6. Are we gonna get more positions through the line here as we approaching lap number 6, as we start in lap number 6, rather, coming up now on P5 as we see Act in front of us holding position 4, going through the first turn of the race, leading up to the S's. This is a part where I seem to struggle quite a bit as well. In fact, I think I struggle in every single corner of the race. However, this is one particular part where I really need to focus and try to learn how to actually take it the right way. I'm going through Degna 1 here. I'm able to not bounce too much through the first curve, and coming out of Degna 2, going a little bit too wide, going to the dirt, going to the grass. But unfortunately for me, I do not go for a spin. We all know how dangerous it is when you go wide through there. I'm coming in through the hairpin, and I am, again, as I mentioned on the lap before, I am losing quite a bit of time on the driver's up ahead through the hairpin. So this is an area that I definitely need to work out. I'm going here through the chicane, coming out okay, sliding there at the end a little bit, losing a little bit of time, and getting ready to cross the line for lap number 7 here. Lap number 7. Now we're gonna recoup a couple of positions here since a couple of drivers were impeding. And now as we go through turn 1 on lap number 7, holding P4 at this point, I should be able to regain some more positions through the pit stops, but we'll see if that's gonna happen as we go through the Degnas here, going a little bit wide here, but able to slow down the car enough not to, or actually to avoid any incidents there through the dangerous corner. We can see here that the green flag is still glitched out. I have seen that happening a lot in the game. Sometimes the yellow flag, sometimes the green flag. Now let's jump on board Fades here on P10, who goes into the green stuff, and again, as many other drivers, go for a spin here. Now let's go back to see what is happening to us as we are now driving all by ourselves here with nobody to be seen up in front of us, no positions to be gained at this time. As you can see here, even using the replay cam, there's no one behind me, excuse me, there's no one in front of me. There is a couple drivers behind me, but we are going through, nevertheless, push through the next line up to lap number 8. The race is approaching the ending, and I have not been able to recover all my positions. Now let's take a look at here. Spring Man bites the white line out of the pit lane and gets her with a 3-second penalty. That's pretty harsh, man. Now jumping ahead, a Spring Man serves his penalty. Fortunately for him, he does not lose that position. Panda gets very close there, but as they approach the chicane, he is able to retain his position, and we're gonna see now as he comes out of the chicane, he's going to keep that position for now. Even though Panda has a slipstream, he's not able to take the position. I think the Lexus has a little more speed, and that's that. Let's go back on ourselves here as I'm struggling through the Degna corners, and I'm sliding all over the place. This is not how you win the race, but hey, this is the best I can do so far. Now we're gonna jump forward in the lap because there was nothing going on. I don't want to bore you with me just driving around. And as we go here at the exit of Casio Triangle, getting ready to go down the main straight, crossing the line to lap number 10, the last lap of the race, holding P3. Am I gonna be able to get back at least P2? Well, that is the goal at this time. First, it was getting the lead. The second goal was getting P2. And now the third goal is at least just staying or actually seeing any other driver up ahead, which is not what's happening. As you can see, I'm just driving very lonely, except for the guy behind me who is hunting me down for third place. At this point, I'm thinking that I probably should be happy with P3. And I think we should focus, instead of trying to push it, I think we should just try to keep that position, as we see the driver behind having a little bit of issues, which is good news for us, since that's going to mean that he's not going to be able to take that position on this coming set of corners. And let's take a look at this really cool side-by-side view as we take a look at Lotuku again, having an issue going for a spin on the gravel. My friend, you had the worst luck today. The arrow coming in behind him, flashing his lights. Fortunately, the ghosting system worked, and there are no incidents to the report. Now we're jumping back ourselves here as we go through the back straight. Do we see any drivers up ahead? We don't see anybody. I'm really wondering what happened here, because I was definitely on P2. I really don't know what happened. I'm trying to think right now as I'm editing this video, and I don't know what happened. I should have probably gone back and take a look so I can avoid that again. Now there's nothing going on right now except for the fact that we're coming in through the end of the race, bringing it home on P3, made the podium at least. Don't know what happened to my P2, but this counts as a win in my book. Getting a bit more driver rating on my goal to reach level B. this podium will absolutely help. Now, thank you so much for everyone who watched this video. This is gonna be it for today. Please subscribe if you can. I am on a goal to get to 1,000 subscribers. I hope I can do that. And yeah, thank you so much.